That's right. You already know what time it is, you guys. Al King, CEO and founder, Top Networkers Group, coming to you real quick. I had a couple of thoughts I want to share with all of you, and I want to sort of get to where I can sit still and really share these thoughts. But, I'm coming to you guys. It is the 5th of July. It's the day after the 4th, so we're still in the July 4th weekend. It happened to fall on a Friday, so that's always nice for those of you out there who are still slaves on your 9 to 5. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to make fun of you or make you feel bad about your situation, but if you have a 9 to 5 right now, you are a slave. If you look at it any differently, you're fooling yourself. And please understand, we as human beings are extremely creative, and we can create any reality for ourselves that we want to live in. So you can be a slave and absolutely tell yourself that you're not, and even though you actually are a slave, you'll believe otherwise. Now, some of you guys will catch that later. But again, if you're not able to go where you want to go, when you want to go, if you're not free to do as you wish, you are a slave. If you have to exchange time for money, which means that you have to go to a place where you don't want to be, you have to work with people that you don't want to work with, you have to accept a certain amount of money for work, even if you feel it should be higher, but you have no real say-so in the amount of money that you're paid, you're a slave. Don't get it twisted. Okay, but that's what I want to really pull over and talk to you guys about. I want to talk to you guys about some of the assumptions that many of the slaves are making, and I'm talking about those of you that have a job. The assumptions you make about those of us who are network marketers. Many of us who are network marketers, we have a job, but we realize we're on a plantation. And we're doing things to get ourselves off the plantation and to ensure that future generations won't have to submit themselves to slavery. That's absolutely what all of us are still doing. See, I want to educate you guys for a moment because so many of us, again, these perceptions we create for ourselves are based almost entirely on ignorance. How many of you understand what a sharecropper is? Or was? A sharecropper was a freed slave, someone who had been freed and who now found themselves subjugated to a lot of laws that were put in place to put black people in prison so that now they could still get free labor out of black people. So, for example, I just, because I don't want to go here right now. This is a lot of information that you have to go look up on your own. Vagrancy laws were passed immediately after slavery. Now, understand what that means. A vagrant is a homeless person. So, immediately after slavery, slaves are now kicked off the plantation and they are now homeless. They are now vagrant. And there are now laws in place that makes it illegal to be homeless. You guys understand this? So most black people had to look for a way to remain on a plantation. And they called it sharecropping, which is pretty much the same thing as slavery, right? You go out, you work the fields, you bring your share to the master, they give you a little bit of it back, and they might even allow you to have home and board as long as you continue to get up and produce. That's a job, you guys. That's what it has evolved into, right? It has evolved into modern day slavery, but we call it a job. Right? That's what most of us do. We say, oh, well, it's just a job, right? Hey, it's just a way to pay the bills. It's just a way to make ends meet. And all of that is cool. And again, there are some good jobs out there where people can make some good money. And it's enough money to take a girl out on the weekends, right? To pay that rent every single month or that mortgage every single month if you're actually making that type of money to have a mortgage. Most of y'all out there have rent. And so a job is enough to help you do that. But you're not going beyond that point, you guys. You aren't taking 3 or 4 months vacation and going around the world and coming back to money in your mailbox. You aren't coming back to a job after 4 months, right? So we want to understand that you're settling for so much less right now. So many of you are, but here's the problem. You look at a network marketing and you make assumptions, and one of the assumptions I want to clear up, because I actually happened to learn this from someone recently. There are misconceptions that start with the lack of education, like the example I just gave you, that most people don't even realize that a job is nothing more than a modern day version of slavery, where the corporations are the corporations come from the plantation. It's the same type of deal. The one percenters, the masters, right? And everyone else, frankly, is a slave, and they've created some awesome ways to enslave people. Miseducation is a great tool to keep people in slavery, right? Because if you don't understand the difference between traditional business and network marketing, you will make several assumptions that will keep you enslaved, and you won't even recognize MLM to be the Underground Railroad that it is. So the assumption I want to deal with first and foremost is the assumption that network marketing is the same as traditional business. It's not, right? And I'll give you an example. If someone is doing really well in traditional business, they will have other people marketing for them, right? So they won't be on Facebook marketing and sharing links to opportunities and things of that nature, because they're making enough money to outsource it, to pay someone else to do it for them, to have a street team, to have folks passing out flyers. Now, here's the thing that people don't understand about network marketing. Network marketing is not traditional business. In network marketing, our jobs as leaders is to lead by example. So if I sponsor someone into a business and I want them to learn how to grow their list, how to grow their income without having to spend money on hiring a street team, then I have to show them what they need to be doing. So if you're a Facebook friend and you see me marketing and sharing links and talking about opportunities and doing things that are leading people to websites, I'm not doing it because I need to do it for myself. See, and this is the other assumption. People assume that if you're marketing on Facebook, you're not making money. They don't know I sponsored hundreds of people in just the past 3 years. Hundreds. If I actually go and pull a report, it's close to 200 by now in just the past 3 years. And I can teach you, that person, that random guy walking, this person, or you online watching this, I can teach you how to do the same without spending money to do it. Because what's the barrier that folks have? I would love to be a millionaire, but if I got to spend money to do it, I would love to have people signing up in my businesses, but if I have to spend money to do it, people use that as an excuse, as a reason not to do something. And so again, as a leader, our jobs in network marketing is to lead by example. It is to set examples. And if I want to make sure that the people I'm working with don't have excuses, then I have to do things that make sure that they have no excuse either. They can't look at me and say, well, Al spends $1,000 a month on advertising, and that's how he's making money. And so if I want to make money, I've got to go spend thousands on advertising too. But this is exactly the kind of example that a lot of you are getting today in network marketing. Look, I don't want to name any names, but I was in a company where the founders made that the training. The training was go out and spend money on Google AdWords. And when I got to that point, I'm like, what are they teaching people? This isn't network marketing. Look, one of the companies that I market, SolarVac, they have a very familiar pitch. And I say it's familiar because I started my career in ACN. And the main thing we did in ACN was we helped people save money on their phone service, their long distance phone service, and eventually even their local phone service. We were able to promise people, or of course we weren't legally allowed to promise, but we could actually go to someone and say, if I can help you save money on your bill, will you support me in business and try my phone service? And a lot of times we save people money because we were charging cheaper rates. And the reason we were able to charge cheaper rates is because ACN did not spend money on advertising. What we did is, and I say we because I was part of the company, this is what we taught and what we preached. We passed the savings, meaning the money that ACN saved from not having to spend money on advertising, we passed that savings on to the customer in the form of a lower rate. SolarBay had a familiar pitch when it was brought to me. They were showing me a cell phone service that was lower in rate, giving me more ability, so more texting, more unlimited calling, more data, faster, for less. Why? How are they able to do it? They didn't spend money on advertising. The problem that people have in our society today, most of you know nothing about network marketing. You hear about business, and you don't understand that network marketing is a business model. So again, some more education for you guys. It's like franchising. Like franchising. Not the same as, but it's like franchising. McDonald's. Awesome idea. Maybe we don't like the food, but if we think about it, McDonald's is everywhere. They've won. They're making money. The people who own McDonald's get paid on every single one of their locations. But if you're a franchise owner of McDonald's, you make money from your location, your franchise. You don't get paid on every single McDonald's. You get paid on your McDonald's. Now, there's nothing wrong with only getting paid on one location, but that's where network marketing is different. In network marketing, I can buy a franchise, a store, and I can also invite other people to buy a store, but now they're getting their store through me. And now I'm able to get paid on my location, everything that I do, but I'm also able to get paid on the efforts of others who are also building their businesses as I sponsor them. But again, my job now is to help show them how to make money. Now, do I want to go out here and just hire a street team? Sure, and I'm going to be honest, for all you know, I might have one. But I'll never talk about that because I don't want people duplicating that. I want people doing things that I know works. But again, in doing so, you're going to deal with some assumptions. And again, I had to have a frank conversation with one of my relatives just last week. Because again, your relatives are going to be some of your toughest customers, depending on the type of family you come from. You know, there's a lot of dysfunctional families out here in America, and a lot of families don't really, or at least aren't really trained to think like business families. Most of us are slave families, if we can just be frank about it. That's the society we live in. The society loves to produce a slave mentality. Let's just go to work and get a job. Let's not worry about making as much money as possible. Let's just, go build someone else's dream. Let's just settle. Let's just get by. Let's fit in. That's how society creates all the issues and things that are going on. Is planned. There are people who create the plan, and then they have structures in place to carry that plan out, right? So all of that is just part of it. I call it the Matrix, because that's what it is. If you haven't seen the Matrix, go watch it ASAP, especially if you're in network marketing, because you're gonna have relatives who don't understand, and they're going to make assumptions. And so one of my relatives was making an assumption about my financial status, right? And again, this is what some folks do. They say, well, if you're not showing me all of your money, you must not have it. Again, this is Assumption 101. I'm going to refer you guys to a book called The Millionaire Next Door. Millionaires are frugal. Just because you have it doesn't mean you need to spend it. The people that want you to spend it, No offense. They're ignorant. They're financially ignorant. They don't understand that that's not how you get wealthy. You don't get wealthy by spending your money on the club and going out when you can and should be spending that money on an investment. See, I'm about to take a vacation in about a week here. And when I go on vacation, I will be making money while I'm on vacation. Everybody else is missing a check. I don't miss checks to go on vacation. But again, a person might make an assumption because they might not see the visible, tangible evidence. I upgraded my car. I'm not going to talk about everything that I do, but there are certain things I do. You should be able to tell I might be making some money from somewhere. But again, my job is not to worry about the other people. Because as a leader of a team of Top Networkers Group, my real concern are my people, the ones that are working with me, is to make training and videos and also a system to help my business partners make money. Because here's the reality. Too many network marketers out there don't have security. Their entire network marketing organization is in a company. I talked about Solivay. I'm going to say this briefly because it's news and it's out there. People have heard. Solivay filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Now, I'm not worried that Solivay is going out of business. Robert Kiyosaki has filed for bankruptcy. Books like Multiple Streams of Income talk about filing for Chapter 11. This is another one of those things that wealthy people do. Okay? However, it doesn't make sense if you're in Solivay to treat Solivay like it's some type of business where you can't do something else. And I've had several conversations with leaders. I don't like to argue with people because a lot of times here's what happens with arguments. I'm right, they're wrong, and they resent me for it. They hate me for it. They don't show love. It's very hard for people to eat crow, to admit that they were wrong about something. And this is what happens when arguments come up. So I tell people, don't put all your eggs in one basket. They say, Al, you're crazy. All I'm going to focus on is Solivay. This is it. Then Solivay, and I hope, doesn't, I absolutely hope this doesn't happen because I love my phone service. It's awesome. I love getting paid from my phone service. But if they go out of business and all of my income is coming from Solivay and none of those people are diversified into anything else, there goes my check. But you want to do that and call yourself smart? And see, this is why we get into these arguments, because I'm hitting on it, because I'm telling you right now it's not smart, and you know it's not smart, and so now you're mad at me. Why? Why not thank me? Why not say, you know what, Al's right. My network isn't diversified. My network's not loyal. We're not secure. Why not realize that and thank me? Look, I've done things in my life that were not smart. See how easy that is? It's not hard. None of us are perfect. We don't have to be. But when we refuse to admit our mistakes, we don't grow. We don't blossom. We don't become more. And that's what I want for you watching this video, for you if you're part of Top Networkers Group, if you're signed up for the 1MLM system. I want you to grow. And I don't want you to make assumptions. Don't listen to any to any assumptions that other people have, because most people have no financial education. Read the book so you don't just hear it coming from me. Hear it from the sources that we learned it from. I don't make this stuff up. I copy. And I teach my team to do the same. Copy what works. See, I'm going to tell you guys this last thing. One of my early mentors in this business, he said that it's important for us to read the books, to come to the trainings, to come to the events, and then to say the same things that they're saying. But here's the distinction. To say it the way we would say it. So, for example, if I were going to say a sentence, regardless of what that sentence is, I'm going to say it a certain way. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to change words up in the sentence, but I'm going to say the sentence the way I talked. I'm going to sound natural. And this is what he was trying to say. Sound natural. Sound like yourself, but use the right words. You know, I'm going to leave you guys with this. I don't believe in magic spells, but I've watched a ton of cartoons about them, about wizards and witches and their little magic spells. I'll give you a simple one. Abracadabra, right? We all know what that means. We've all heard that used in some story about magic tales. Some person waves a wand and says abracadabra and their wish then comes true. Is it the wand? No. Is it them simply wishing? No. It's them using the right words. Abracadabra. If you would have said cadabra abra, the wish they had wouldn't materialize. You have to use the right words. So, as I was saying, like when we're talking about getting customers facing in, that script works for just about everything. But you got to use those right words. You got to say things like, do me a huge favor, help me out, give it a try. You know, when I'm talking about the 1MLM system, you should be able to give away these free programs. You should be able to go to people and say, you know, I have a free shopping mall. Could you do me a huge favor? Try it out. Go shopping on here. Buy a couple of things. Just do me a huge favor. Rather than going to Best Buy directly, go to Best Buy through my mall. Right? Try it out. Just try it out. See if you like it. Tell me how you like this. Right? But again, so many people don't do that. They use different words. It changes everything. So when I'm marketing on Facebook, one of the things I want you to be doing if you're following me, look at the words I'm using. Use those words. They'll get you results. Don't look around to this guru or that guru and don't listen to the assumptions of your friends and family who have no financial education. All they can tell you, your friends and family, and let me just say this, they love you. And I realize that my family loves me. A lot of them, they love me. Right? And look, I'm going to say this. I'm single. And sometimes folks get to assuming things, oh, well, maybe, maybe he's not making money. Maybe, he needs help with this or needs help with that. No. But if you're my friend or my family member and you think I need help with something, help and support my businesses. Right? Don't make assumptions about how much money I'm making. Don't worry about that. Worry about your self. Because believe you me, if you're not helping me pay my bills, if you're not speaking well about me, I'm not sure if you're a friend. Does that make sense? And I'm not saying that in the manner of people have to help me pay my bills to be a friend, but if you're out there hating, if you're speaking negatively, out of love, as you call it, or saying, Al, why don't you look for one of these good jobs where you can make even more money? It's like, wait a minute. How about you support that I know what I'm doing and either become a customer of something that I'm offering or look for a way to get financially free yourself as my partner. But don't give me advice that I didn't ask you for. And I say that because, again, Many of you are probably dealing with this type of stuff, and I don't always talk about this. Look, I've had this conversation over and over again with family members, and again, I'm telling you, they do it out of love. They think they're doing the right thing. They really do, but they've been trained. And again, the Matrix breaks this down. Some of the very people we love and we want to save the most are far too dependent on this system to ever look at anything any other way. So you just have to take it and keep moving. And listen to the people who actually care about you, your business partners, who really care about you, because we really understand what you're going through. We really understand what you're facing. A family member, hey, they see you when they see you. They know as much as another random person on Facebook knows. Because again, I don't show checks. I don't show people how much money I made on this or that, because it's none of their business, frankly. I never like signing up anyone that joins me because of my rank or because of my monthly income, because those people are impossible to help. At the same time, I really don't like people who join me and then want me to tell them how much I'm making, because they think the exact same way. They're impossible to help, right? They feel like, again, if their sponsor's making $100,000 a month, by signing up with the sponsor, they're going to make $100,000 a month. The problem is that $100,000 a month sponsor is going to tell them to do things, and they're not going to do all the things that they're being asked to do. Instead, what they're going to say is, I'm not making $100,000. I sure wish I could do that, this, that, and the other thing that you told me, but I'm not making the kind of money that you make. I'm not free like you are. I have a job to go to. This is what folks do. So I don't like to work with those types of people. I like working with people who say, you know what? I realize that my job is never going to be the ticket to wealth. I realize that I have to do something different if I want something different. Then I'm looking for people who look at the bigger picture, who realize that MLM is a springboard to do other things, who realize that we live in a world with some serious problems, and what we need are more good people who have money to influence what's happening in our world. There's a bunch of people out there who feel that rich shouldn't give to the poor, that we should continue to raise taxes and make it harder and harder for the little man. And there are a few people who make money who say, you know what, that's not right. I've been blessed. I'm making millions and millions of dollars a year or per month. I can afford to give 10% of that to a person who's had a tougher time in life. I can help create some breaks for other people. That's a mentality. That's a way of thinking. It has nothing to do with money. It has to do with who you are at your core. And I believe this is true. You'll hear it throughout the industry and throughout anyone that knows anything. Money makes you more of what you are. So if you're a good person, you'll be even better. If you're an asshole, you'll be one of the worst people on earth with money. Understand that. So now you see, the reason we have a world with so many issues and challenges, frankly, is because the majority of people who are wealthy right now are the assholes. The good do nothing. And this is why evil prospers. Which brings me to my last point. I promise you guys this. To my family and friends, trust me, I'm good. But understand this, when it comes to, and this has nothing to do with business, not really, but when it comes to finding that one, because I know folks that, I'm getting up there in age, and again, I know a lot of it comes from people who care about you. But again, you got to understand who you're talking to when you talk, right? I'm biblically based. I want you to understand something. When you look in that Bible, that basic instructions before leaving earth, and it talks about partnership, I believe certain things, and I'm looking for certain things when it comes to that other person. The first thing is, gotta be equally yoked. Some of y'all never heard that before, but those of you who have, you understand what I'm talking about. I can't be with someone that's not a network marketer. It's not possible. I don't think like the rest of the people who aren't. So that's number one. It's number one. And equally yoked, network marketing, that's just the start. I'm in search of someone that thinks like I think. And again, I'm not worried about that happening. That happens in time. When the time is right, that person will come. We'll link up. We'll do fantastic things together. And when that time comes, it's here. But that's not for other people to worry about. And some of you guys out there, you may be dealing with a similar situation. You have friends and family all in your business. They're not supporting your business. They're not helping you with what you're actually doing. But they really got comments and they got assumptions and all this kind of stuff. And you know what? It's love, but at the same time, it's a dysfunction. Because again, as a society, we don't really even understand love. We don't teach it in school. We don't teach people that love is unconditional. We live in a society where people put conditions on love. They say, if you love me, then. And again, for my educated folks out there, that's a philosophical statement. That's known as an if-then statement. And this is what people do with love. They say, if you love me, then. It is a conditional statement. Go ahead and look that up. Conditional statement. Depends on the conditions. That's not love, you guys. Love looks past everything and says, I love you no matter what. And a lot of families out there, they just don't understand that. But you know what? You and I, together, we can do something in this world and we can turn some things around if you believe it. Because if you don't believe it, it's not possible. You have to believe that first. If you believe that we can turn some things, around in this world and create a society where families function and they understand what it means to love one another and they support one another, then what we'll have is a society where now people are no longer dependent on that 1%. And now they start to recognize and realize the real interdependency that we used to understand when we had sayings like it takes a village to raise a child, and we understood that the community was created to help everyone in the community, not to help some rich person at the top stay on top. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you at the top the right way as we free others and bring them with us. Thanks for watching, you guys. Top Networkers Group.